Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everyone, this is Lacey, also known as DJ Crablord now, I guess. We are on Crabcast on the air with Hermit Crab owners on Facebook. This is episode 2, so I guess the last episode went pretty well because we're making a second. This one is entitled No Skinny Dipping Allowed. The original air date is August 6, 2016. Tonight we'll be chatting about naked crabs. You perverts, don't think of any other thing. And what to do when it comes down to having a naked crab. We're going to be going through some common reasons why a crab would be naked. Group owner Kitty will be popping in to talk. I'll ask her some questions. She'll answer them. It'll be a great time. We've seen a bunch of questions about how to feed eggs, so we will be telling you how to feed them. Also, there was a group post last week called #JustCrabThings. We have some in the slideshow right now, and I'll be reading some of them off because some of them are quite funny. As always, I will be taking your calls for questions or just to chat. If you want to do a shout-out, call in and do a shout-out. If you would like to call in, you can get on Skype or your phone or any way you can call in at 929-477-2202. All right, Hermie's Kitchen has free shipping this weekend also over at www.hermieskitchen.com. Claw of the Wild will be having their free shipping at the end of the month. All right. Right now we're going to go to Kitty, and let me see if I can get her on the air. Kitty, you're on.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Mini panic attack, not used to talking to everybody, but hi.
Yeah, well, it's just like a phone conversation, I swear. I was panicking last week, and I'm actually okay this week, thanks to Xanax. Anyways, first off, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
About me, I live in Mississippi, which is in the USA for everyone that's out of the country. I'm 32. I've been crabbing for a combined total of 5 years. I did it for a few years, and then I ended up taking a break because of just life and got back into it 3 years ago, which is when I decided to start this group because I noticed that there wasn't a very comfortable Facebook group for me to go to. So me and Angela Brooks actually started this Hermit Crab Owners together. I have one daughter, and that's who I spend most of my time with, and I am married, and I have 3 dogs now, and a lot of cats.
That's right. Yes. Speaking of cats, mine just came over. So what got you into crabbing?
Really, when I was a kid, these terrible little kits that they sell, the critter keepers with the rocks and everything, I got that when I was a little kid, and he didn't live very long, and, I felt really terrible about it, and, I'm old enough to have been doing, well, I went through that before there was really Google or anything like that, and I had no idea how to take care of them. And it wasn't until I was 28, I want to say, that I decided to get hermit crabs again and started trying to research and, found out about the heat and the humidity and everything. So it really was just that going through that terrible experience of watching that first crab die. Like, there's not enough information out there.
No, and the information out there wasn't anywhere near correct either.
Yeah. Well, there's still some people that find the old information that we try to still correct, like separating a molter. You're not supposed to do that. If you have the correct depth of substrate inside your tank and everything, you don't have to separate them. They're fine.
Definitely.
So I know
and then
we're still battling some of those old recommendations.
Yeah, like strawberries need saltier water when they don't.
Yeah.
Um, what were the early days of the group like?
Oh, it was so much slower, and I remember it used to be me and Angela. We were able to handle each post, one on one with everyone. Oh, it's so different than what it is today. It really is. But we also didn't have this great team of admins and mods to help build up these files that dedicate all their time and energy to researching and putting out proper care and just making the group great for us.
Definitely. I think adding the mods, it helped a lot. Everybody got spread out more, and a lot more posts are getting answered quicker. And yeah, I think it's working out great.
Yeah, I love them. I love you all. If it
And we
wasn't
love
for
you.
guys, I
We
don't
love the
know.
whole group. Yeah, you'd probably go insane.
Yeah.
Did you ever think the group would get this big? We're almost at 6,000 members.
I did not. When I first started, I expected maybe 1,000 members, maybe. I never in a million years imagined being the biggest group on Facebook. And I never imagined that we would branch out as much as we did.
I know. Now we even have a podcast. Holy crab. Um, what's one of the funniest posts in the group that you remember?
One of the funniest posts? Oh, gosh. I can't even think of it.
That's fine. What do you love most about crabbing?
What do I love most about crabbing? I love being able to rescue the crabs, especially in my area, because like right now I have 3 different tanks, and in between these tanks I have 16 crabs that have been rehabbed. I mean, they've come from, well, except for 5 of them, most of them have come from really bad conditions. And so the greatest thing for me is watching them, go down, do their thing, come back up, and just be so healthy. And I've rescued little teeny tiny crabs, and they're just getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, I've seen
There's
mine.
nothing better than watching them thrive.
No, there isn't. And when you see them, I had 2. I think you remember they were from PetSmart. They were just going to toss them out. They had broken claws, legs, and now they're 2 of the biggest crabs in the tank. And it's just amazing to see how much they've changed, and it's awesome. Let me see what else I got here. What's the thing you like least about crabbing?
Having to see them in such bad condition. If you don't know about hermit crabs, you don't go looking whenever you go to, I go to Biloxi a lot. And at the beach shops, I'll go there to get shells. But while I'm there, I also end up seeing the horrible setups that they're in. And it's just really hard to see these crabs suffer and then not be able to take all of them home.
I agree, and it's just going to keep going and going. And that's one of the reasons I think our group is awesome, because the more it spreads, the bigger it grows, the more information gets out there, and the more it becomes common knowledge.
Yes, and knowledge is the only way that we'll be able to fight this.
Because knowledge is power.
Yes.
What's the biggest piece of bad advice the pet stores or the beach shops give out that you just hate?
Oh, these are just really cheap, low-maintenance pets. They're not going to live long at all, maybe a year. That is the worst thing I've ever heard. And then they sell you the critter keepers with the aquarium gravel, saying this is exactly what they need. Take this, take these pellets, and just spray them. And another horrible piece of advice is they'll tell you, just pick them up. They'll get used to you. Just go ahead and hold them. And the pet shops don't understand. Yeah, but they don't understand. These are prey animals, They're supposed to be food for someone. So naturally, they get really stressed out if something as large as us come after them, picks them up and everything. They think, oh, God, I'm about to get eaten. And I know a lot of times people will think they pick them up and they're walking around, oh, well, they enjoy it. But really, they're there's different stages of panic. There's fight, and there's flight. And whenever they're running around, I wouldn't say that they're enjoying everything. I'm saying that they're panicking. They're scared.
No, they're trying to get the hell away from you as fast as possible and find somewhere to breathe. What would you like new members who are just joining the group to know? Pieces of advice, something like that.
Pieces of advice is, take all the information that you're getting. You're going to feel overwhelmed, but just take it one step at a time. I know it's going to seem like everybody wants you to do everything right here, right now. I don't care if you don't have the money, just do it. But really, we understand. We've all had to go through doing everything on a budget. So just remember, take it one step at a time. Don't feel overwhelmed. You'll get there.
I agree. Also, it's just important to read through the files. We're not trying to bash you or anything. We're not trying to harp on you, but just read them through because it has a lot of good information in them.
They do, and people have spent hours and hours putting together these files. We've done research trying to make sure you have everything that you need to get a good start and get your crabs healthy and thriving.
What would you like our veteran members to know? Any little pieces of advice or anything you've seen in the group?
For our veteran members, I would just like to say thank you for being with us for so long. Thank you for helping all the people that come along that do have issues, because it is a huge group and we can't do it on our own. So, we have our admins, we have our mods, but also our veteran members that know what they're doing. We really appreciate it when you help us.
Yeah, it makes it easier on us because we can't be there 24/7.
Yeah,
especially
sometimes we have
anybody
lives too.
Yeah, especially people in different time zones across the world. It's not just here in the U.S. We're worldwide.
Yes. I never thought, whenever I first started the group, that we would be international, but we are.
What should our group know about the admins and mods in the group?
Hold on one second. I'm with my family too, and they're kind of moving around. But as far as admins and mods go and everything, they're not evil people. They're not nitpicking, and they don't tell you things, just to bash you. They're telling you actual, true, legitimate things to educate you, to help you. And if you feel like you're being overwhelmed, just go one-on-one, and we can take it slow, just one step at a time. We're all very understanding.
We are, and we have life, kids. If we can't get back to you right away, that's when normally a mod or a veteran member will pop in real quick and say, "Hey, okay, what's your favorite part about owning this group?"
Everybody, just everybody, and knowing that we have reached out and we have saved so many crabs, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that have said over and over, if it wasn't for this group, their crabs would be dead. That is so many lives that have been changed just by us spending time on Facebook.
I agree, and it's just amazing, this group saved my crabs. And then you think about it, and it's like how many other people have thought the same thing, and that's hundreds, if not thousands, of crabs.
Just thinking about that number, the number of crabs.
I know. Think of it this way. There's almost 6,000 people in our group. All of us don't just own one crab, so that's a lot of crabs out there.
It really is. And that just makes me so happy. It makes it all worth it.
Is there anything else you would like to say to air right now?
Other than forgive me, I know I sound a little like a basket case, but this is the first time I've ever done a podcast, ever been on the internet like this, so I'm actually really nervous. But I will try to call in again, in future podcasts and be a lot better.
No, you did great. It was awesome. It was just like a phone conversation. You did really well, so no reason to be nervous next time. All right, I will let you go be with your family, and I will put you back on hold so you can listen.
Yay! All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I love you all.
All right. Thank you, Kitty.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Let's see what else we have lined up for you. All right. I'm going to take a short break so I can drink some water, and we'll be right back. When most people think of pets, it's either cats, dogs, or fish. For some of us, we've learned that hermit crabs can make great pets. Yes, hermit crabs are among the more unusual pets, but they are very interesting and surprisingly not low maintenance pets like most think. They're very entertaining animals. They can dig, climb, and swim. One of the most challenging things about being a hermit crab owner is having a support group for advice and education. That's where we come in. We are hermit crab owners on Facebook, and our number one goal is to educate people on hermit crab care, plus dispelling the bad information many owners get from pet stores. Join our Facebook group by going to Facebook, www.facebook.com/group/itsacrabthing. We're looking for people who are serious about hermit crabs and learning about their care. If you're sick and tired of seeing hermit crabs treated as throwaway pets, we're the group for you. Join us at www.facebook.com/group/itsacrabthing. When most people think of pets, it's either cats, dogs, or fish. For some of us, we've learned that hermit crabs can make great pets. Yes, hermit crabs are among the more unusual pets, but they are very interesting and surprisingly not low maintenance pets like most think. They're very entertaining animals. They can dig, climb, and swim. One of the most challenging things about being a hermit crab owner is having a support group for advice and education. That's where we come in. We are hermit crab owners on Facebook, and our number one goal is to educate people on hermit crab care, plus dispelling the bad information many owners get from pet stores. Join our Facebook group by going to Facebook, www.facebook.com/group/itsacrabthing. We're looking for people who are serious about hermit crabs and learning about their care. If you're sick and tired of seeing hermit crabs treated as throwaway pets, we're the group for you. Join us at www.facebook.com/group/itsacrabthing. Okay, so that was my first voiceover like ever, so that was fun. All right, now we're getting on to the topic of naked crabs. There's been a lot of posts about naked crabs in the last few weeks, so we're going to go over what to do if you have a naked crab. First of all, don't panic. Stay calm. Stay very calm. Because the more panicked you are about it, the more stressed you're going to get, the more stressed the crab's going to get. It's best to stay calm. Post that you have a naked crab in the group right away. You don't want to wait because the crab can dry out and die. So you want to get help with your naked crab right away to assess what you're going to do and assess what's causing it. Okay, some causes of naked crabs are shelljacking. Shelljacking is when there's not enough shells in the tank, or it can happen if we've seen it with newer crabs being introduced to the tank and their shell still smells of the wild. Another crab will come around and rock this poor little crabby out of its shell. So, if your crab was a victim of the shelljacking, it should take a new shell fairly quickly. You can overcome this by having 10 shells each in your crab size, a little up, a little down. I like to do it in half-inch increments, get a bunch for that half-inch for that size. Dropping shells on a crab's own otherwise is usually a sign of severe stress. So if it wasn't caused by shelljacking, you definitely want to look into it even more. Another cause is improper tank setup. Not the right type of salt water can cause it. Stress from handling. They see us as predators, and they'll get stressed out very easy. They might drop their shell. They'll get scared. If the sub's not right, if it's calcium sand, that's they can actually be sealed inside their shell and die, or they won't even dig down; they'll just drop their shell. And calcium sand also doesn't hold moisture like play sand and eco earth does. Improper diet. Another crab could have been going after the crab who dropped their shell if the diet is a little bit off, which is why you don't want to feed pellets or any really. There's some okay store-bought foods from the pet store, but you really want to stay away from those pellets. Something toxic in the tank. We've seen issues where there's a pine log, some type of pine in the tank. Basically, yes, they do climb on them in the wild, but that's in the wild. It's an open space. There's air going through. There's ventilation. In a tank, they're closed off, and there's no really ventilation besides the bubblers, maybe, but because you want to keep that humidity in. Pool's not deep enough. They're not getting enough shell water in their shells. That's a huge issue. Another cause is new crab from the pet store. We don't know what they've been through up to this point in their journey, which is why you should always keep an eye on your newer crabs. Most do dig down and de-stress right away, but some are maybe too weak or something really bad happened to them beforehand. How to help? You can place your crab in a Tupperware dish or mug, any kind of container. You can even cut the bottom of a soda bottle out or water bottle. You want to fill it with treated water, just a little bit on the bottom, and put the shell in the crab had, or and a few other choices in its side. You want to place him back into the ISO tank or main tank. It's important. I think it's very important to have an ISO tank on hand because you never know when these types of things are going to happen. And then you want to cover it with some type of cloth for at least 45 minutes. You don't want to keep checking on the crab. It's going to stress them out even more. I know a lot of people, they're scared and they want to keep checking, but you really do not want to check on them for that 45 minutes. Go take a walk, do some dishes, clean the house, exercise, whatever you can do in 45 minutes. If you see the crab isn't going back into a shell right away, you're going to want to manually reshell him. A naked crab it won't likely try to pinch you because they're very weak to begin with, which is why they drop their shell. You take your thumb and index finger and hold him by his side where his soft abdomen meets the tougher exoskeleton. Then you want to place his shell or his tail inside the shell, preferably a turbo shell opening. They're nice and big, as deep as you can. The crab will let you, and you don't want to apply any rough force. You just want to kind of slightly, gently put him back in. After the crab is in the shell, place him back in isolation and away from other crabs. So if you don't have an isolation tank, you want to keep him away from the other crabs. Keep him far away, put him back in that mug, put a soda bottle on top of him, whatever you got to do. The next thing you want to do is still leave him alone. You want to see if he'll take the shell. If he does take the shell, awesome. If he doesn't, then I think maybe one more time you can try to manually reshell, but you really want to leave him be after the first time. It's very stressful for crabs to go through this, and they might be in the shell, and you might notice a limb is dropped, which is why it's still an excellent time, an excellent thing to have an ISO set up for them to go to, so they're away from other crabs. You can put a blanket over it, have it nice and dark. You want to feed a lot of healing foods in this time. Just make sure when he's de-stressing, make sure he has what he needs. And then you want to look at the problems too. The improper setup. Maybe you didn't have deep enough sub. Maybe you didn't use the right salt water. You want to post in the group so we have a questionnaire you can fill out. You can fill out every little thing on it, and an admin or a mod, or maybe even a veteran member, will go over it with you so you can set up your tank correctly. Sometimes, though, we don't know how old the crab is, and they'll still pass. You could have everything right. We do not know how old they are when you get them, but it's still a very good idea to go over everything because there might be something you missed. Something might be a little off. Let's see. ISO tank, isolation tank. These can be made out of 5 gallons, 10 gallons, or a tote. I personally like the tote idea. It stores easily underneath your tank, and it's easy to move around if you got to move it. You set it up just like a normal tank, but it's only for one crab, and when he's in need of isolation, say he was naked, or it's a sick new crab and he's already dropping limbs, or you get a new crab and he's just very, very, he looks weak, he's not moving. Also, a molt gone wrong. Maybe somebody pulled the surface molt on you. You want to put them in their exo in the ISO tank. Also, an awesome thing about the tote is if there's some needy crabs in your area, you can just pack that sucker up, put it right in your car, and go get them. I know they have conversion plugs on Amazon if it's winter. I live in New York, so it's like 9 months of winter here. So that you can stick into a USB port, or if you have an older car, like I forget what it's called, but a cigarette lighter too. They have them, and you can plug in the tank and keep it nice and warm. All right. Let's move on to eggshells. We've had some questions about eggs, how to feed them, what to do with them. You can feed eggs frozen, scrambled, boiled, raw, fried. It can even be, Emily had the idea, it can even be a deviled egg, quote unquote. You can use coconut oil instead of mayonnaise and season it with some paprika. But the whole thing is you don't want to do any seasonings that are not on the list. Make sure to check the safe list of all the safe seasonings. You don't want to cook with any type of oil. You can use coconut oil that's on the safe list. Safe types of oil you want to use. You can also dehydrate the eggs. Dehydrated eggs take a long, long time. Make sure you have them cut up well. And you keep checking on them. You don't want them too hard, but you don't want them soft and mushy either. Let's see. Eggshells. Yes, eggshells are awesome. I mean, I can't tell you all the times that I found my Ecuadorian Sammy chilling in an eggshell just eating away. Like, it's her other shell. And she gets really, really sad if I don't put eggshell and pineapple in the tank. It looks like she has the woes. She gets extremely upset. Also, eggs can be frozen. If you make some eggs, you can freeze it for the crabs and take out chunks when you're busy. Okay, let's see if we have any calls. All right. 314. Guess what? You're on the air, and I already know who this is.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Why don't you tell the internets who you are?
This is Robin Fogarty Bowman. I am one of the mods here at Hermit Crab Owners, and I've been in the group, I think, almost a year and a half, a little bit shy of that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a while. I remember when you first joined, you were always pretty awesome, so glad to have you as a mod.
I was kind of clueless when I first joined, too, have to admit, so I've learned an awful lot. I think my crabbies, thank you.
And like Kitty was saying, I mean, can you think of all the crabs that have been saved by our group, not only with proper care, but with all the adoptions that we've done?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I got my first 2 and had the standard 10-gallon pour setup, that I thought was awesome, and have been able to upgrade and do things, and then have been able to get some rescue crabs from other people, as well as obviously take care of mine in a much better environment. So absolutely.
You also have foster crabs, is that correct?
I do. I got a couple of foster crabs from one of our members that was just having a hard time at home, so I have those in her tank right now as well.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to say? Give a shout out, ask a question, add to what we're talking about?
No, I think the biggest thing, what you said as far as naked crabs, is making sure that when your crab is naked, if you're not able to get them in the shell very quickly, to ask for help. And I think sometimes people might feel embarrassed, like, oh, this shouldn't have happened, so I don't want people to know about it, or I don't want them to know that I don't have a perfect setup. Our main priority first is to get that crab back in the shell. And we want to be able to help you do that. So taking a time and delaying and asking for help could definitely be very detrimental to the crab's health. Our priority for every single member is to help you have healthy and happy crabs.
Exactly. Honestly, we don't care what your setup looks like. We just want to get that crab healthy and get you on the path to. We understand everybody's not, everybody in this group, we're not made of money. We're not rich. We're chilling on Facebook. We just want to see gradual improvements. Like, okay, I can't afford to go out and get a bigger tank, but I can put enough sand in this and eco-earth so they have enough room. Also not going out and buying more crabs and crowding it more. Do one thing every paycheck, and honestly, we'll be thrilled.
And that's exactly what I did when I started with my 10-gallon, and I was told by the pet store, oh, my gosh, that's going to be a mansion for your 2 crabs. And, I believed her. And unfortunately found the Facebook group after I had my established tank and was doing reading and was mortified. And I didn't have the money at that time to go get a new tank, but I did exactly what you said. I made modifications because I had just a couple inches of just eco-earth. Made that modification, got some play sand and more eco-earth to at least get the right sub-consistency and depth. And I knew they needed more space, but at least I got that. And it's exactly what you're saying. I did it slowly. I didn't have a lot of money to do it. So we did it slowly, but at least, making sure, learning some things about how to maintain humidity. So I was doing a better job of that so that I didn't have to spray all the time so I wouldn't have a flood. Just things like that, doing things slowly to get them where they need to be.
Definitely. And, we're not looking for perfect tanks. We're looking for improvements here. We're looking for people who are willing to learn. And, even we don't know it all. There's not a lot of information out there. Like, when we go to research stuff, it's not easy because there is literally no information about hermit crabs out there. It's amazing.
No, and I had actually checked out several books from the library as well, and going back and reading through those now, even a lot of that material is very outdated. And there was one book I had gotten once we had a good established tank. We got a couple books, and I was reading through them with my then 4-year-old, she's 5 now, but we talk a lot about animal care, and they understand that animals are part of our family, and we're going to treat them as such. And I would read the book to her, and she would start correcting me. She's like, that's not right, Mommy. That's not right, Mommy. Why do they say that? So I think part of it, too, is involving your children. I think, at my children's ages, they're almost 6 now and almost 11. I still don't feel that they have enough responsibility to be the sole caretakers of any animal, but they have a lot of involvement, and they know a lot about the care, and they're able to comprehend it, and that makes them more interested and involved as well. But I just thought it was funny that, my kids were able to correct things in library books and telling me what the correct answer should have been.
Oh, yeah, it's very funny. My daughter, she was, I think, around 6, and we had just finally set up the tank right. And I was at a craft fair. I was selling some of my jewelry, and there was a hermit crab stand there. my daughter went up to it, and she's like, painted shells are bad for them. Where's your gauge? And she was just, like, going on about to this, like, elderly lady about hermit crab care. And the lady was just looking at her like, what are you talking about? It was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we were in one pet store, and just traditionally, you're near a pet store, you got to go in and look at the hermit crabs because it's what you do. Had no intention of getting any. And I was looking at this one tank, and it looked like it was empty. And I asked the girl if there were any crabs in there because the conditions were very bad. It's very dry, very low temperature, very hostile environment for a crab. And the girl picked it up. They have like a moss pit. It's like a plastic fishbowl tipped over that they had wet moss in for the crabs. And the girl picked it up, and she's like, no, there's no crabs. And my daughter looks there. She goes, there's 2 crabs right in the moss pit. My daughter's 5, and and we ended up taking one home because she was pretty poorly. Wasn't planning on that one, but But I mean, that's how much attention, unfortunately, many, and not all, but many of the pet stores give. The girl who worked there thought that the tank was empty, and my 5-year-old was pointing out that no, indeed, there were animals there.
Oh, I agree. It's just, to turn profit. They're, if I always think about it this way, if they gave the correct care out, nobody would be coming in and buying more crabs. It would stop. Because these pets can live up to 30 to 50 years in a tank. Who's going to keep on coming in and buying the crabs then, if they're all living correctly?
Right, but then if they altered everything that they carried and carried proper items, then we could still go in and buy proper food mixes and different climbing toys and things that were appropriate for them.
Oh, I agree. And I think with a group like ours, like we did the, what was it, the Maryland blue crabs? We saved all those crabs from being given out at a baseball game. It's small things like that, and I think we actually even got on the news about hermit crab care, and we stopped most of those crabs would have been dead within a year.
Definitely. It's just, it's sad. And unfortunately, a lot of times people blame the people who work in the pet stores. They're just basing it off the training and information that they've been given by their corporation, who receives their information from the hermit crab distributors. Because I had emailed a pet store one time letting them know, how their care could improve. And they basically said, well, this is the information that we got from the supplier, so this is the information we pass along. And obviously the supplier doesn't necessarily want to give good information because then, like you said, they're not going to sell as many crabs.
No, it's going to stop pretty quick because all these crabs are going to be living for years and years.
Right. And so, that made me kind of sad. I understand it's a money-making business. I have a problem with any money-making business that puts animals' lives in jeopardy and doesn't prioritize them.
Also, if you go to PetSmart or Petco, any corporate store like that, the worker will actually get in trouble if they tell you the correct care. They have to go by what the corporation tells them.
Yeah, I have found, the one thing I have noticed around here, I've had a couple of conversations with locals. Now, is this I talked to a PetSmart manager and then a Pet Supply Plus manager, and they actually had 20, 25-minute conversations with both of them, and they were taking notes because they were reading things back to me, so I was kind of hopeful at least that they were listening to some of what I said. Unfortunately, like you said, some things their hands are tied, but the one manager had told me, he said, we can take some liberties as long as it's not something, horrifically against, what the company advises. So, and it might just depend on who the district manager is and things like that, too, and how they'll react and, unfortunately, how much trouble they could get in, like you said.
Yes, people can get fired. I never heard back from the PetSmart by me where I rescued 2 crabs they were going to throw out. I wrote to corporate. They said it wasn't common practice. They take them to the vet, which we all know is bull. There's nobody taking these hermit crabs to a vet.
Of course not.
No, they can't be vetted. They're crabs. I would love to see somebody take one into an exotic vet and try. That'd be kind of funny, but um, yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Like I said, biggest thing I think with naked crabs is getting help quickly to be able to get them shelved. Because at that point, when you have a naked crab, that is 100% the first part of the priority. And yes, if there are things in your tank that might need fixing, yes, we do need to get to those. But before we do that, the crab has to get shelved. Get in your post, there's no skinny dipping allowed when it comes to crabs.
Nope. And I know people make jokes and stuff, but it's really not funny. It would be like if you had like a leg cut off and something, or it'd be like, oh, now you can work at IHOP. It's really not, that funny. It's just, he's struggling for his life right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they'll dry out. They require moisture on their gills and abdomens, and keeping that shell water in place with those shells is what does that for them. And even if they've been out of their shell for a day and you seemingly think they're acting fine, they are in fact struggling. They just can't tell you.
No, crabs hide stress very easily. They do, which is why when you get a pet store crab, you want to watch them because who knows, they could be stressed out as hell. You wouldn't know.
Right.
All right. Well, I will let you get back to work, right?
Yes, I'm at work.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks.
No problem. All right. Let's see who else we have. What else we have lined up here? Also, I wanted to, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the naked crabs. Losing their shell is not a part of molting. It's not. They molt with their shell on. They're always in their shell. They need that shell water. It's their lifeline. So that's a big myth that they don't need their shell when they're molting. They do. And they're not getting ready for a molt when they drop it. Let's see. All right, we're going to take a quick break so I can take another drink. When most people think of pets, it's either cats, dogs, or fish. For some of us, we've learned that hermit crabs can make great pets. Yes, hermit crabs are among the more unusual pets, but they are very interesting and surprisingly not low-maintenance pets like most think. They're very entertaining animals. They can dig, climb, and swim. One of the most challenging things about being a hermit crab owner is having a support group for advice and education. That's where we come in. We are hermit crab owners on Facebook, and our number one goal is to educate people on hermit crab care, plus dispelling the bad information many owners get from pet stores. Join our Facebook group by going to Facebook, www.facebook.com/groups/itsacrabthing. We're looking for people who are serious about hermit crabs and learning about their care. If you're sick and tired of seeing hermit crabs treated as throwaway pets, we're the group for you. Join us at www.facebook.com/groups/itsacrabthing. When most people think of pets, it's either cats, dogs, or fish. For some of us, we've learned that hermit crabs can make great pets. Yes, hermit crabs are among the more unusual pets, but they are very interesting and surprisingly not low-maintenance pets like most think. They're very entertaining animals. They can dig, climb, and swim. One of the most challenging things about being a hermit crab owner is having a support group for advice and education. That's where we come in. We are hermit crab owners on Facebook, and our number one goal is to educate people on hermit crab care, plus dispelling the bad information many owners get from pet stores. Join our Facebook group by going to Facebook, www.facebook.com/groups/itsacrabthing. We're looking for people who are serious about hermit crabs and learning about their care. If you're sick and tired of seeing hermit crabs treated as throwaway pets, we're the group for you. Join us at www.facebook.com/groups/itsacrabthing. All right. And I'm almost out of water. I thought you guys should know. There's a ton of you guys in the chat. I see you log in, I see you log out, but I don't see you talking. Got a lot of silent people up in the chat. So hi to guest 1206 and hi to guest 1274. What's up? All right. We've also seen some more issues with handling coming up in the group. Questions about it, and my cat is licking my ear, which is really weird. So I want to briefly go over that again. Handling a crab is bad, basically. It's not a good thing to do. They're wild animals. They're not domestic animals like a cat or a dog or even a fish. You wouldn't handle a fish. I mean, I don't know who would handle a fish anyways, besides people going fishing and you have to touch it. But I don't think anybody has gone into their tank and pet a fish. Anyways, hermit crabs have gills just like fish. They need constant humidity to breathe. A lot of people I've noticed, they say, well, it's really hot and humid in my house. If your humidity is above 70 in your house, you need to call a contractor over right away because there's a leak somewhere, there's mold, there's something because it'll start growing. Tongue-tied. Mold will start growing in your house just like it does in the tank. Like on the like driftwood and stuff, you'll see little fuzzy mold because it's high humidity. Yeah, you don't want to bring them out. And most likely your house is not above 80% humidity. And you don't want to be handling them anyways. I mean, the pinchers, some of these jumbo crabs that we have been seeing, like Nathan's, I don't know if anybody has seen Big Papa, but holy crap. I mean, you could probably take off a tip of your finger. And that's not going to be a cool joke, like to joke around with your friends, like, oh, why did you go to the ER? Oh, I got my tip of my finger, snapped off by a crab. I mean, your friends are going to make fun of you forever. It's just not a good deal. Also, they're prey for other animals, seagulls, other larger animals that are on the beach. They like to eat these guys. They're going to see you. They're going to hightail it out of there or high shell it over there. I don't know. I'm trying to make puns here. You might think, oh, it's cute, they're running. No, they're looking for humidity. They're looking to breathe, and they're scared of you. They can't tell you that they like it. I mean, you can't even tell them, like, hey, crab, do you like me handling you? I have never known a crab to be like, hey, yeah, I love it, back. All right, and now we're going to go to the fun part of the show. Okay, so there was a post last week. I think Chelsea started it. So shout out to Chelsea. Hey. It's called #JustCrabThings. And I think everybody in the group can relate to these, so I'm going to read some off. This one says, when you say I have crabs, but you totally forgot to put the hermit part, #JustCrabThings. When you say I have 3 hermit crabs, but they only see 2 and they think you can't count, #JustCrabThings. Growing items in your garden that no one else in the house will eat, #JustCrabThings. Okay, so you get a new tank and your BFF's like, whoa, wow, are you salt water or is it freshwater tank? And you're like, ha ha ha, hermit crabs, and they just give you a look, #JustCrabThings. When you can't pass up a sale on shells, you need to buy all the shells, buy all the things, #JustCrabThings. When you have pet sand because every last crab is underground, which makes you super sad. It does. #JustCrabThings. Constantly checking your gauges all day, #JustCrabThings. Anxiously standing by the tank in case of a shell fight when one eventually just walks away after an intense antenna fight, #JustCrabThings. Glancing in your tank all day, hoping to catch a glimpse of your crab. When they finally come up, they hide from you, #JustCrabThings. When your crisper drawer in your fridge is for saving shriveled produce. Some crabs, they really love the rotten foods. I mean, they're scavengers by nature. So sometimes the smellier and more rotten, the better. Hashtag just crab things. When you scope out a relative's plants to see which ones are crab safe, I have done this. I'm guilty of this. Like, hey, what trees do you got in your backyard? Like, hey, can you give me the hookup? I see you have an oak tree back there. I need some oak leaves. Hashtag just crab things. When a neighbor mentions the number of grubs she found while weeding, you ask them if she can save them for you. Totally normal here in this group. Hashtag just crab things. Keeping dead mice in the freezer. Yes, I don't know if there's a post on this recently, but yes, you can feed your crabs dead mice from the store. You want to make sure you get, the fuzzies have more nutrition rather than the pinkies. You want to make sure you're not just giving a dead mouse to them you find off the street, because God knows what it would have or how it died. You want to go to a pet store that you know and buy one for them. Some crabs will go crazy over them. Some crabs will not like it at all. My crabs really didn't. Only one of my crabs cared for it. Her name is Wobbles. She is an Ecuadorian. She was rescued from. I'm not sure what the situation is, but I got her from Marianne, who is a crab rescuer in Ohio, and she shipped Wobbles and Norman to me because I only had Sammy, who was an E, and she was lonely, and I couldn't find any more E's in my area. So I got Wobbles, who her name fits her perfectly because she falls off of stuff and she wobbles. And Norman is obsessed with bubbles. He has a bubble addiction. So, yes, hashtag just crab things. When chocolate sprinkles now look like tiny brown frowns, meaning poop, hashtag just crab things. Being fascinated by watching them scoop the poop out of their shell. Yes, they have those little legs that are always hidden, and then you're like, oh, that's awesome. And you watch them scoop out poop everywhere. Asking people who have rabbits if you can have some poop. Hashtag just crab things. When you have to clean the pools. Oh, I don't think that's anybody's favorite day. I really don't. Hashtag just crab things. Showing appreciation by pooping in their new shells. Not even trying them on, just going and scooping poop into them. Hashtag just crab things. Taking home gross leftovers. I'm guilty of this. We were at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Well, it wasn't really gross, but they had fruit out, fresh fruit. I found some foil, and I brought them home a ton of fruit and veggies. I have no shame. Destroying your perfect setup because digging is fun. Yes. Oh, God. I can't tell you how many times. It's Saturday. I'm doing water changes. I go fix everything. 10 minutes later, sub is all in the pool, and there's vines hanging down. It's like, why do I even try? Hashtag just crab things. Purposely bringing insects into your home. I am definitely guilty of this because I just bought 1,000 super worms. They are now in the freezer. Also, for anybody who ever buys super worms for their crabs, make sure you freeze those suckers before you dehydrate them because they will come back to life. Make sure to freeze them for about a week. Make sure they are dead or you will hear horrific things of flopping and stuff on the tray. I froze the first time I got super worms. I froze them for 72 hours thinking that was enough. Nuh-uh. These things come back. They're like the living dead. They will come back. They will flop, and you'll have nightmares about it. Hashtag just crab things. When you announce crabs are molting with such an enthusiasm like you're announcing a pregnancy. Hashtag just crab things. Or if you announce them a new crab that you got or rescued, like, hey, meet so-and-so. This is my new crab. And that was my cat meowing at me. When you tell your husband not to throw away eggshells because they can be eaten. Hashtag just crab things. We have a container on our counter that is just for eggshells. We like to keep them in there and just toss them in the tank. They're, I think I've already gone over this, but I'll say it again if you're just joining. It's an awesome snack. It can be mixed into the sub. Snack on later. I'll throw a piece of huge cuttle bone in there and watch them go at it. Also, the isopods love. If you have isopods in your tank, they love cuttle bone. Having to say dirt instead of sub because no one knows what you're talking about. Hashtag just crab things. When multiple crabs change shells and you no longer know who is who. Hashtag just crab things. Yes, I don't know anymore. They all changed into green turbos. Then it was all the pearl turbos. I don't know who is who anymore. Only one I know is Hermit and the bigger ones because they're slightly different shapes. But all my tinies grew into small and mediums. I don't know who is who anymore. I really don't. But they still love me. When they eat better than you. Yeah, I mean, I buy all this organic stuff. They get kale, organic apples. Everything is top notch for them. And here I am eating like a TV dinner and chips for dinner. Hashtag just crab things. Waving your hand in front of the tank to make sure they're still alive. Hashtag just crab things. There's also a funny little story. Susan, one of our admins, she talked to a guy and he swore he could communicate with his crab by waving his fingers in front of the tank. This wasn't... Oh, shoot, my microphone went out. Sorry, guys. This wasn't a joke or anything. He truly believed that the crab talked back and told him how things were. Let's see. Digging tunnels everywhere so I can pop up wherever I want, says the